These days, I keep hearing everywhere that the Oak Island mystery has been solved. But what exactly is that mystery? If we look closely, there are many mysteries surrounding Oak Island, so many that these secrets cannot be revealed to anyone because the truth behind them is known only to me or my team. But now, everyone is saying that the team has revealed the truth, so I too must break my silence. Today, I will tell you everything in detail and try to bring the truth to light. We will discuss whether the mystery has truly been solved or not, but before that, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so quickly so that you receive notifications of new videos on time. As you know, for generations, people have believed that something extraordinary is hidden beneath this small piece of land. In the North Atlantic, many have searched, many have failed, and some have paid a heavy price. But now, for the first time, we are hearing claims that could completely change our understanding of this island. According to a team of scientists and researchers who are using technology on Oak Island that has never been used on this scale before, the mystery is finally reaching a decisive turning point. What they have revealed is nothing short of miraculous. By deploying advanced ground penetrating radar across large sections of the island, the researchers have managed to create the most detailed underground map ever. And that map doesn't show random voids or natural fissures in the ground. Instead, it reveals a vast underground world, interconnected tunnels, deep chambers, and structural anomalies that extend far beyond anyone's imagination. What immediately stands out is the sheer size and complexity of this underground system. These are not isolated shafts or collapsed excavations left behind by previous treasure hunters. This is a deliberately constructed network stretching beneath the island like an unseen city. The depth, alignment, and interconnectedness all point to meticulous planning and advanced engineering, especially when you consider the era in which these structures would have been built. But the real shock came when researchers began analyzing the patterns. When the data was pieced together, something extraordinary emerged. The tunnels and chambers weren't built haphazardly. They formed a precise geometric design, one that matched ancient symbolic layouts found in historical texts associated with the Knights Templar. For anyone who has followed the mystery of Oak Island, this connection is immediately startling. The Knights Templar have long been linked to Oak Island through legends, historical speculation, and tantalizing fragments of evidence. This medieval organization, known for its immense wealth, secrecy, and advanced knowledge, is rumored to have hidden sacred relics or priceless treasures far from Europe. For years, this idea had been dismissed by some as mere fantasy. But this newly discovered geometric alignment suggests that whoever built this underground system understood symbolism, sacred geometry, and secrecy on a level far beyond simply hiding treasure. And just when it seemed the story couldn't get any more intriguing, the researchers discovered something even more unexpected. Deep within one of the chambers, far below any previously known search area, they found sealed containers. These weren't filled with gold or jewels. Instead, they contained ancient texts, carefully preserved in airtight canisters to protect their contents from time, water, and decay. These writings may prove to be the most significant, and secrecy on a level far beyond simply hiding treasure. And just when it seemed the story couldn't get any more intriguing, the researchers discovered something even more unexpected. Deep within one of the chambers, far below any previously known search area, they found sealed containers. These weren't filled with gold or jewels. Instead, they contained ancient texts, carefully preserved in airtight canisters to protect their contents from time, water, and decay. These writings may prove to be the most significant. Linguists, historians, and cryptographers are all examining the text to unlock their meaning. If they succeed, they may be able to explain why Oak Island was chosen, who created this underground system, and what its true purpose was. Was it a vault, a sacred site, a repository of forbidden knowledge, or something even more profound? When I first walked onto Oak Island, I remember thinking how quiet it was, just trees, rocks, and the sound of the ocean. But silence can be deceiving because beneath this island, beneath every root and every layer of soil, there is a story that refuses to stay buried. A story that has drawn people here since the late 1700s, all chasing the same question. Why was so much effort spent hiding something in a place so remote? Oak Island didn't become famous because of legend alone. It became famous because early diggers immediately realized they were dealing with something intentional. This wasn't a natural hole in the ground. It wasn't erosion or coincidence. Whoever dug here understood. Engineering, planning, and secrecy. The deeper they went, the more obstacles appeared, as if the island itself had been designed to defend whatever lay below. Over time, theories exploded. Some believed pirates had hidden stolen gold here, using the island as a vault no one would suspect. Others pointed to lost royal treasures, possibly smuggled out of Europe during times of revolution and chaos. And then there were the theories that went even deeper into history, ideas involving sacred relics, forbidden knowledge, and powerful organizations that operated in the shadows. What all these theories share is one unsettling truth. Oak Island doesn't behave like a normal treasure site. What makes this mystery even more compelling is the pattern of discovery. Every generation brings new tools, new technology, and new confidence. Yet the island always seems one step ahead. Shafts flood without explanation. Structures appear where none should exist. Artifacts emerge that don't belong in this place or time. Instead of simplifying the mystery, progress has only made it more complex. One of the most provocative clues ever uncovered is an object linked to the medieval world, a coin associated with the Knights Templar. This wasn't just a casual find. The Templars were masters of logistics, finance, and construction. They moved wealth across continents, protected secrets, and left very little behind when their order was abruptly dismantled. History tells us their treasures vanished. Oak Island asks us the dangerous question: what if they didn't disappear, but were deliberately hidden? If that connection is real, then Oak Island stops being just a treasure hunt. It becomes a missing chapter of world history. The idea that medieval explorers may have crossed the Atlantic centuries before it was officially recorded challenges everything we think we know about the past. And if they came here, they didn't come accidentally. They came with purpose, resources, and something worth protecting at all costs. That possibility has only grown stronger. With recent discoveries, artifacts buried deep beneath the island suggest activity far older than previously believed. A medieval crossbow bolt, an unmistakable weapon of its time, raises profound questions. Who was here? Why were they armed? And what operation required this level of preparation in a place so far from Europe? What keeps pulling us back isn't just the hope of treasure. It's the sense that Oak Island is guarding knowledge. Knowledge someone believed was too dangerous, too valuable, or too important to leave exposed. Each discovery feels like a whisper from the past, urging us closer while warning us to tread carefully. When you study Oak Island long enough, you begin to realize that its mystery doesn't revolve around a single artifact or a single theory. It's the accumulation of details, small, unsettling details that refuse to fit into conventional history. One of those details is the unmistakable presence of medieval weaponry, and it forces us to ask questions that make people uncomfortable. During the Age of the Crusades, Europe was dominated by powerful orders that blended faith, warfare, and wealth. Among them, the Knights Templar stood apart. They were disciplined, secretive, and extraordinarily well-funded. Their movements were precise, their records sparse, and when their order was abruptly dismantled, much of what they possessed vanished without explanation. So when an object tied to that era surfaces on Oak Island, it cannot be dismissed as coincidence. The crossbow bolt recovered here is a perfect example. This wasn't a hunting tool. In the 13th century, crossbows were military instruments, restricted and feared for their power. The dating places this artifact in a time period that challenges accepted timelines of transatlantic exploration, that immediately changes the conversation from what was buried on Oak Island to who may have been here long before anyone expected. And this discovery doesn't exist in isolation. Oak Island is filled with deliberate features that suggest planning rather than chance. Nolan's Cross, for example, only reveals itself when viewed from above, a formation of massive stones arranged with mathematical intent, whether it functioned as a marker, a symbol, or a directional guide. One thing is clear: someone invested enormous effort to create something that would last for centuries. Now, it's important to slow down here. Extraordinary claims demand careful examination. History has been distorted before by wishful thinking and sensationalism. Not every theory survives scrutiny, and not every artifact tells the story we want it to tell, but when multiple anomalies begin pointing in the same direction, ignoring them becomes just as unscientific as believing too quickly. As deeper exploration around the money pit continued over the years, the ground itself began telling a story, intersecting shafts, flood tunnels that seemed engineered rather than accidental, objects appearing at depths that defy simple explanations. These are not the hallmarks of desperation or random digging. They reflect foresight, knowledge, and intent. What truly sets Oak Island apart is how it resists resolution. Each generation arrives convinced it will be the one to solve the puzzle, only to uncover evidence that makes the puzzle larger. And that's why the island has never lost its grip on the human imagination. It's not just hiding something, it's protecting something. Then came one of those moments that reminds us why we keep going. During metal detecting operations near the money pit area, our team uncovered a finely crafted keyhole plate, not crude, not improvised. It featured a detailed floral design, suggesting it once belonged to an object of value, something meant to be opened carefully, not broken into. Historical accounts speak of missing chests linked to Captain James Anderson, chests that were never recovered and never accounted for. Does this keyhole connect to one of them? We don't know, but it raises the possibility that Oak Island wasn't just a hiding place, it was part of a system. A place where valuable items were secured, cataloged, and deliberately concealed. What continues to amaze me about Oak Island is how it refuses to stay confined to a single storyline. You come here expecting a treasure hunt, and instead you find yourself standing at the intersection of engineering, history, literature, and human ambition. The deeper you look, the clearer it becomes that this island was never just about burying valuables. It was about protecting something. In the late 19th century, long before modern equipment or digital mapping, the Oak Island Treasure Company pushed deeper into the earth than anyone before them. What they encountered over 150 feet down was something that simply should not have been there, what appeared to be a hardened, man-made substance resembling cement. At that depth, in that era, it made no sense. Cement meant preparation. It meant forethought. And most importantly, it meant someone understood how to build for permanence. But then came a discovery that shifted the focus entirely. Among the material brought up from below was a fragment of parchment. That detail alone is unsettling. Paper is fragile. It doesn't survive moisture, pressure, or time, unless someone goes to great lengths to preserve it. That raises an uncomfortable possibility that Oak Island wasn't just hiding objects of value, but written material intended to survive centuries underground. That idea pulls us into a very different kind of mystery. Some researchers have suggested that the parchment may be connected to lost works, attributed to William Shakespeare. Whether or not that claim proves true, it opens the door to a much larger discussion, one involving secrecy, authorship, and the deliberate concealment of ideas. During the same era, Francis Bacon was exploring radical concepts in science, philosophy, and knowledge preservation. To some, he wasn't just a thinker, he was an architect of hidden systems designed to safeguard dangerous or revolutionary thought. If Oak Island played a role in that effort, then we may be looking at something far more significant than buried treasure. We may be looking at a vault for information, knowledge, meant to be removed from the political and religious conflicts of its time, stored where it could remain untouched until the world was ready for it. But Oak Island isn't just shaped by grand theories. It's also shaped by real people with extraordinary stories. One of the most compelling is Samuel Ball. Born into slavery, Ball earned his freedom, served with the British during the American Revolution, and eventually made his way to Nova Scotia, and against all odds, he acquired land on Oak Island and became remarkably successful, far more so than his neighbors. That success has always raised questions. On his property, known as Lot 24, artifacts were later uncovered that suggested something more than farming. Coins, military-style buttons, a fragment of a firearm. These weren't items you'd expect to find scattered randomly. They point to activity, movement, and possibly access to resources that remain unexplained. Was Samuel Ball searching for something? Did he discover something others had missed? Or was he simply closer to the island's secrets than history ever recorded? We don't yet have those answers. What we do have are clues, quiet, persistent clues that refuse to fade away. That's what Oak Island does best. It doesn't shout its secrets, it whispers them. It leaves just enough behind to challenge assumptions and provoke deeper investigation. Every artifact, every structure, every anomaly adds another layer to a story that spans centuries and continents. This island isn't just preserving objects, it's preserving intent. And until we fully understand why so much effort was invested here, why knowledge, materials, and possibly ideas were hidden so carefully, Oak Island will remain one of the most compelling unsolved mysteries in the world. Because whatever was placed here was meant to last.